Hey y'all, I got some shit would need to be said, okay? Now I said when I, began thinking more profound things, that I was just gonna go live with it, but this is not live. This is recorded, but I'm still on camera. Okay, so I recently put a video out of this woman named Princella, right? They call her Princella the Queen Maker, right? So I'm not sure if she's like the maker of queens for women or maker of queens for men, or like I'm assuming she means maker of queens, making women queens. Okay. So I did like a stitch video with her when she was talking about how this is her, okay? That's Princella the Queen Maker. Okay, so let me just play it for y'all to hear real quick. This is the one that.
Are you no longer attracted to me? No, because the attraction, I'm a sapiosexual. I'm a sapiosexual and I'm a demisexual. If you're not sure what a demisexual is, that's somebody that is only sexually attracted to somebody based on a deep emotional connection. So I need a deep emotional connection and I need someone who is intelligent. Men are incapable of both of those things. I have outgrown the quote unquote intelligence of a male because their intelligence that I perceived as intelligence is no longer intelligence. It's cookie cutter. They can't tell the truth. They can't bow down to actual wisdom, right? It's all about power for men. It's not about anything that is remotely good for humanity or anybody else. It's all selfish. And unfortunately, that's a major turnoff to me. What I was attracted to in men was this idea that they were these great leaders, right? That because I like people like. Okay, so let's just talk about that for a minute, right? So that's the first video that I saw on Priscilla the Queen Maker, right? And it made me think. I was like, okay, so I definitely understand where she's coming from in regards to the emotional maturity, in regards to I understand where she's coming from. The mental maturity, the emotional maturity. I totally get that. But as I started thinking about it a little bit more, y'all, I was like, well, I mean, women can be labeled that too. All women aren't mentally mature. All women aren't emotionally mature. There are women that lie better than men. There are women that cheat more than men. You know what I'm saying? So her saying, like, I understand what she's saying. She's a sapiosexual, meaning she needs mental stimulation. I'm the same way. She's a demisexual, meaning that she's not necessarily attracted to the physical. She's attracted to like your soul or whatever. I get that. I'm that way too. But to say that all men are that way, is a little suspect. So then another one I came across. Listen, y'all. Every man is using you for something. Ain't none of them coming to love you. They coming to use you. You just got to figure out what for. Every man is using you for something. Ain't none of them coming to love you. They coming to use you. You just got to figure out what for. Okay, so that's another one. Okay, she said every man is coming to use you. They're not coming to love you. So you just need to figure out what they coming to use you for. Okay. The energy that men bring, which is destructive, I simply don't want it. I don't want that in my life because I'm a peaceful person and I got too much going on and I don't have time to be arguing and competing and fighting with no male. I don't have time to walk on eggshells and stroke his ego. Did I say this the wrong way? I don't got time for that. You just go. All right. So clearly, Princella the Queen Maker is speaking from some personal experience. Something happened to Princella the Queen Maker to make her have these feelings that she's having, right? Some guy or men she was in relationships with, they did something to her to make her just be like, F all men. All men are the same. They all want to abuse you. None of them are going to love you. I don't have time. They too chaotic. They too destructive. Okay, granted, there are some chaotic and destructive men. Absolutely. We see a lot of that in war, right? When two men two men leaders who are in different countries battle back and forth against war, and you wonder when enough is going to be enough because there's so many casualties, there's so many bombings of buildings. There's so much destruction, right? And you just, in your mind, you just wondering, when is enough going to be enough? When are they going to stop this craziness? When are they going to stop it? But the masculine ego, when it's just full on masculine, full on logic, full on, masculine, can be very chaotic and very destructive. And when you got two of the same going back and forth against each other, the ego, baby, it get out of control. They don't want to let up. And so, from Princella's point of view, that that is true in regards to the whole power and the control thing, because that's basically what this whole war thing is about, with, you could say, Russia and Ukraine, and Israel, and Lebanon, Beirut, Iran. It's like the power, the control. You bomb me, I'm gonna bomb you. You do this, I'm gonna do this. You do that. It's like a tit for tat, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Always trying to one up the other one, right? Because of that power and that control, right? So she does have a point when it comes to that. But listen to this, y'all. On top of men's behavior around me and to me, on top of that, in regards to men's behavior, she said, around me and to me. She's talking about herself, meaning she's not giving examples of her mama, her auntie, her cousins, her best friend, other females. She's not giving examples from nobody else. These examples are coming from her personal experience, which is why I said, who did what to Princella to drive her to use her platform as a man eating, man bashing website? Because basically, what she's doing is turning women against men. And then, if you're turning women against men, women are going to be giving men all these nasty attitudes, which is going to make men not want to deal with the women, because they're going to be like, they got these nasty attitudes. So you're going to literally turn men to men, and you're going to turn women to women. The next thought I had in my mind is, where did she come from? Did somebody plant her here? Is somebody paying her to fuel this poison out? Or is this all just coming from her personal experience, and she's so angry at some man, or however many men there are, she's so angry at him that she's using her platform to generalize all men, to say that they are all the same, meaning that they are all shit in her eyes. That's dangerous. That's dangerous. All right, let's go to the next video. Women need each other. Women need each other. They don't need men. But men. Women need each other. Women need each other. They don't need men. Did you hear what she said? That's what she just said. And she made sure she pronounced it very direct and clear, so that everyone could hear that she wasn't stumbling over her words when she said that. Do need women. Men need women, and women need each other. That's just the bottom line. Women need each other. So she's saying that men need women, but women don't need men. Okay. I think women and men need each other. I get what she's saying in regards to the emotion, and okay, so this is the thing. Princella is saying all men are liars, they're all manipulators, they're all user and abusers, and they're incapable of learning emotional maturity, and she's just too smart for them and stuff like that. This is what she's saying. They're too chaotic, they're too destructive. How do we presume that men got that way? I mean, masculine energy is naturally a very dominating energy anyway. It is. It is. And too much of it can make it chaotic, can make it destructive. But how do you think men got that way? Where they're too masculine, they're too chaotic, they're too destructive. You don't think they didn't get it from somebody telling them in their childhood that they need to man up? that they need to stop crying men don't cry, that they need to stop being all in their feelings because that make them weak and like a girl. You don't think that didn't come from that? How many times, I can't tell you how many times I have heard men say, I feel like I can't cry because I'm going to be labeled as a female if I cry. I feel like I can't, hug another guy or kiss another guy on the cheek or without somebody trying to say that I'm gay when I'm just expressing my emotion and my feeling for my partner, my homie, my brother. How many times have I heard men tell me that they're in a relationship with a woman that completely emasculate them, making them feel like they're a bitch? Excuse my French. Making them feel like they're a bitch because they tell them, oh, you just need to man up. I've heard that a lot in my own household growing up. I ain't trying to put nobody on the spot, and I'm definitely not trying to throw no shade, but I have heard females in my family say this to their men. Man up. Oh, you need to man up. Oh, you a pussy. You a punk. Oh, you a female. You a sissy. I've heard this. I've heard females say this to men, that to their men in my family growing up. My own father heard that a lot. A lot. And he complained about it to me. So it's a very real thing that men feel that they can't get in touch with their feminine side because as soon as they do, they have somebody trying to call them out for it and call them a pussy or call them a punk or say that they're not a man because they're crying or they're vulnerable. Or how do you expect a man to have any kind of emotional maturity when he's been told all his life that he cannot have that? He's been told all his life he can't have that. You can't have emotional maturity because you have to be chaotic and destructive. You have to be a boy. You have to wear boy clothes, and you have to do you know what I mean? Like, he's been told all his life that he has to excommunicate anything that seems feminine about him from his life. And then you wonder why they have a hard time expressing themselves and why they have a hard time being vulnerable to their mother or to their wife or to their girlfriend, period. Because they're told that if they do it, it's going to make them look a certain way, and they don't want to look a certain way. And then you have these women out here who are angry at these men because these men don't have emotional maturity because they've been taught all their life that they're not supposed to have it. And then there's a back and forth tug of war, or a battle, you might as well call it, because Princella is battling. Okay? She battling. She battling. She battling somebody because somebody did something to her. Or however many men did something to her. You heard what she said? Rewind the tape. Rewind this video. You heard what she said? Men's behavior to me. How men treated me. She wasn't talking about other women. She was talking about herself. Somebody did something to her. I'd like to give her a hug because she hurt. She sounds like she needs some healing. I don't generalize all men like that. I don't put all of them in a basket and just say they all ain't shit. Because that's like putting all women in one basket and calling all women hoes. Excuse me? Excuse me? You will not. You will not. Because the generalization out here now in regards to how men speak about women, men say the same thing that Princella is saying. Women ain't shit. What's that song? What's that song talking about women? The bitch for the streets. That bitch for the streets. What's another one though? It's another one. Hoes, bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. Lick the and suck the. Well, no, but it's another one though. What's another song when they just basically generalizing all females and saying that all females ain't shit? And it honestly seems like it's because of this whole battle thing going on. You know, it's a battle thing, but and it's all mental, and it's all conditioning, probably from childhood. Because I keep hearing the same story over and over and over from men, how they weren't allowed to be in their feelings, they weren't allowed to be vulnerable, they weren't allowed to be in their feminine energy, they had to always be in this masculine energy, which made them chaotic, which made them destructive, which made them miserable because they feel like they couldn't express themselves because nobody would listen. They wouldn't listen. So if you got men growing up like that, feeling like they just need to be powerful and dominate and beat motherfuckers up, what you think they're gonna bring to the woman that they get with? And then now you're gonna have the woman on guard. What did Princella say? I'm tired of feeling like I gotta walk around on eggshells and I gotta be scared and I gotta stroke your ego or else you're gonna attack me. Did you hear what she said? Because that's what she battling. She battling the man who grew up not being able to express his feminine side, only got to be in his powerful side, in his masculine chaotic side. So now he bringing that chaotic shit to her, beating her up and shit. And she tired of getting beat up. She tired. She tired. I get it. Okay? I get it. But not all men are the same, Princella. Not all men are the same. They're not. You cannot generalize all men like that. That's dangerous. Just like you can't generalize all females. That's dangerous. I don't even know what to suggest because you have to date people in order to fill them out to see if they're for you or not. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes we do get caught up in situations that we have no idea really what we're getting caught up in because sometimes people wear really good masks and to cover shit up. And so you sometimes you just don't know what you're getting into. You know what I mean? Until you get into it. But that's the life lesson. You're supposed to learn the lesson, grow from it, move on, teach somebody else about it so that they don't either go through the same thing you went through, or if they're going through it, they can relate to what you're talking about, and then they can wake the fuck up and be like, oh shit, I am going through that too. Let me get the fuck out of here. Let me go about my business. That's how you learn. You got to go through stuff in order to learn. And then eventually you find your one, right? But you got to go through some experiences in order to get there. And people want to know why I'm to myself, child, because I've been through some things and I learned a lot of things. And the things I learned have equipped me to be the way that I am. And so I know very well what I want and what I'm looking for. And if I don't see it, I'm not messing with it. It's just as simple as that. You have these life lessons that you're supposed to learn, and then you use your discernment to move forward in life. It should be easier for you to pinpoint the red flags after you've learned the lesson. Princella just don't need to repeat. See, Princella sound like she operating from straight hurt, like she hasn't been healed from what the hell happened to her in the past. And she said that's why it's easier for her to be with a woman because it's not the physical, it's the mental. I'm attracted to the mental. Okay. I mean, I get that. You know, you could be attracted to the soul of a person. You can be attracted to the mental maturity of the person, the emotional maturity of a person. That's absolutely fine. But physical is what normally attracts you to a person from the beginning. Usually it's the physical of a person that grasps you. Oh, he cute. Oh, she cute. Oh, I like the way she look, or I like the way he look. It's usually the physical that grasps you. And then once you get into it, it's the mental that is usually keeps you there, if it keeps you there. Because sometimes you know, a person is fine to you, and then you get into it and you realize it wasn't what you thought it was, and you say to yourself, this is not what I signed up for. This is something completely different. This is, you know, because you realize the mental ain't matching. The physical is there, but the mental ain't matching. You know, a lot of times people get in these relationships for the physical because they physically attracted to each other, and they realize that the mental was never matching, the emotion was never matching, and then you stay in these relationships, and eventually one outgrows the other because the one that usually outgrows the one that they're with, that's they realize it. They're like, oh, the mental ain't matching, the emotional ain't matching. This shit is not matching. We are not on the same frequency. It's just not. I've outgrown you. I really want something else. And then you have to take the steps to either get out of the relationship, or if you're going to just stay for convenience purposes, okay. A lot of people do that. They may be miserable, but they do it. I'm not the type of chick that's going to be miserable anywhere. I'm not. So, um, yeah. Sound like Princella is hurt and she's operating out of her hurt. But in the midst of her operating out of her hurt, she's throwing a lot of inflammatory accusations out there that is generalizing a lot of men, which I don't agree with because that is very dangerous. Because I know that there are some diamonds in the rough out there. I know there are some rare gems out here. There are some rare men. There are some diamonds in the rough men out here. You just have to find them. And I believe, because I solely believe that because I'm looking at myself. I look at myself like a rare gem. I look at myself like a diamond in the rough. I'm out here. Somebody looking for me. Somebody's looking for me. Just like I'm looking for my rare gem and my diamond in the rough. I'm not looking, but you know what I mean. If it come across me, I'm not stupid. I'm going to notice it. You know? So that's how I think she should approach the conversation. I don't think she should generalize all men. That's dangerous. And the fact that she keeps doing it over and over and over again, I don't know if she's operating out of hurt or if somebody is paying her to be inflammatory and dangerous like that. So I don't know which one it is. But I just wanted to share that with y'all because it was getting me heated on another level, and I wanted to talk about it to get y'all opinion on it and y'all comments to see what you think about Miss Princella, honey, because I don't know if Princella is the queen maker of women or if she the queen maker of men. Is she trying to be the queen maker of men or the queen maker of women? Toxic queen makers, toxic queen women, because this is toxic. She speaks some facts. I'm not going to say she don't. She has some facts that's in the right direction. Absolutely. I'm not knocking her for that. But the way she generalizing, that's dangerous. That's all I wanted to say. All right, y'all. Comments?